The biggest highlight of this phone is that it doesn't come with the Snapdragon, MediaTek or even Exynos chipset. In fact, it's running on Xiaomi's very own Xring 01 processor. Yes, it's the first flagship smartphone processor that Xiaomi has made from scratch, and since it's their first attempt, naturally there are a ton of questions. How does it perform in benchmarks? Is it good for gaming and day-to-day usage? Does it heat up or not? And how stable is it? Well, we have tested everything in detail and the results are surprisingly shocking. In fact, it's so surprising. Well, you know what? Let's take it step by step and understand the architecture first. First of all, it's a 3nm TSMC chipset, just like Apple, MediaTek and Qualcomm. But when it comes to the CPU cores, you get 10 cores here, which is more than every other chipset. There are 2 high-performance cores, 6 performance cores and 2 efficiency cores. In terms of clock speeds, it's not the most impressive, but the chip size is the smallest compared to others. If I talk about the GPU, Xring has the same GPU as the flagship Dimensity 9400, but here also it has got more cores, but the clock speeds are lower. There's also a 6-core NPU with up to 44 TOPS and MediaTek T800 modem with ultra-wideband support. For image processing, Xiaomi has its own 4th generation ISP, and the phone that we have with us comes with 16GB of LPDDR5T RAM and 512GB of UFS 4.1 storage. By the way, for those who don't know, LPDDR5T is 13% faster than LPDDR5X. Now that you know the basics about this new chipset, let's just put it to test and see how it performs in benchmarks. First of all, in AnTuTu, this phone performs surprisingly well and scores more than 2.5 million. It's even more than the flagship 9400, which I honestly didn't expect, and it's slightly, just very slightly behind Snapdragon. Yeah, the temperature is more than the competition, but it's very much in control. In Geekbench, this new chipset comfortably beats the Dimensity 9400 in single core, which is surprising, but what's even more shocking is that this beats the Apple's A18 Pro in multi-core, which no one would have expected. I mean, for the very first chipset, this is a huge milestone for Xiaomi. In fact, there are a lot of companies who have been trying to master the art of smartphone processors, but they have not been able to even come close to these biggies. But Xiaomi kind of nailed it in their first attempt. Now, when it comes to the Geekbench GPU, Xring scores the highest in OpenCL and it's the lowest in Vulkan graphics, but the difference is not a lot in both cases. So yeah, it's pretty evenly matched. By the way, we couldn't run 3D Mark GPU because it's blocked on the phone, but we did put it through CPU throttling, and here also it was the most stable in both 15 minutes and 100 minutes tests, which is just mind-blowing. So that was all about the benchmarks, but now let's talk about the real benchmark.